Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. You know, I need to give myself an introduction. I haven't given myself an introduction on this channel before. I am a 30-something mother of two, wife, and I work in corporate America because my goal in starting this channel was to get a group of individuals together that could be a collective in supporting one another, like as in a friendship, or kind of like years ago when I went to school, we had a pen pal program and we all became like bonded with each other over the years. Some of my pen pals I even keep in contact to this day. So I wanted to foster some kind of relationship between us over the waves of YouTube. But anyway, I wanted to give you guys some background on me. My first video is about my finding my birth father after years of searching, and I just wanted to go back and like give you guys the spill on what has occurred since that date. When I taped that video, it was in January of 2021, and now here it is June of 2021, and I've taped a couple videos in between on this channel and my other channel, but I haven't been able to get back into my channel. And my goal for myself was to continuously record. So I'm going to be recording some videos just to give you some insight about how finding my dad and how DNA kind of like affected my whole life and my outlook. I would give my credit back to God always in everything I do, because it's only through him that even DNA came to be, and it's only through him that I was able to find such a miraculous find after so many years. So guys, let me tell you the story, which probably is going to astound some of you. But 15, I lost my mom, and I prayed to God through a letter, which I do use letters a lot in prayers, and that's just one of my best forms of praying, because I feel like when I write a letter to God, I remember what things that he's promised me better on paper. Just write the most important things in life, which are my prayers, and which are the things that I'm believing in God for. So over 2020, I wanted to see where I have gotten with that prayer request that I made at 15. And that prayer request was, I'm sharing a lot with you guys on this video. That prayer request was that after my mom died, that I would have more family, because I was the only child, and that I would have more family and closer connections with the family that I do have. But honestly, just not the more family, but just have a closer connection with my dad, who I thought was this certain person, but I wasn't close to him, and I also wasn't close to his children. So I wanted to actually know my siblings and not just be an outsider in that, because I felt like after my mom passed, I was becoming an outsider. This lofty goal, which, you know, things had never changed and transpired over 15 years, so it was a lofty goal on my behalf, because I wasn't able to accomplish this before. And I was just like, I really was pleading with God in this letter, because I'm like, you took my mom. I know you've all been in that place where you question God, and you like question I always believed that everything happened for a reason, and everything that happens was all a part of God's grand scheme, because that's just something that's always been in me. I always had that discernment, that small thing that God excuse me guys, that God had a purpose for everything and every person in life. And even in the setbacks, quote unquote, there's a comeback in every setback, and that God had a promise with everything he did to continue to grow you into your purpose, regardless of whatever the setback was, if you continue to believe. And so I've always been in church, but I never, my adversities at an early age kind of like grew my faith. It grew my spiritual growth out of that kindergarten stage at an early age. All of the losses that I've had early on, which everybody has a story, everybody has a bunch of things that It's like the catalyst to their growth over life. And I don't put mine ahead of anybody else's, because we all have these things. If you haven't had them yet, you will. But in my own personal story of growth, and out of some of the worst things that happened to me, like losing my mom in my arms at a young age, I can see God's presence in all of those things, guys. Like, if you haven't had a personal relationship with him, if you go through a lot of adversities, like very, very things that are very, very hard to get your footing on and try to understand, if you look back and see and how strategic God is in keeping you to accomplish your purpose, I don't know how you could not believe in him. The goal of this video was not to make me have an emotional breakdown, but my thing is, like, I can't tell you guys about how good he's been to me in spite of the worldly things that I've experienced, without crying tears of joy. You don't know. He's just so awesome, guys. He's just so awesome. But anyway, like, after this DNA finding and that prayer that I wrote like so many years ago, I read back over that prayer recently in my journal, and that prayer was just to find my dad and find my siblings. I found my real dad and my siblings, and guess what, guys? He was around all the time. He was somebody I knew. And my mom died. I didn't go and stay with my mom's siblings. Like, I had so many options. Thank God that I had so many options of people that had open arms to take me in. But the person that took me in, of all people, after all of that, she came out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. Like somebody that I wasn't even close to, that was a family, that was close to my family, but not in a personal relationship with me. And somebody that, out of nowhere, she showed up the day that my mom died, out of nowhere. And everybody questioned, why did this lady show up? Could never imagine to help you to complete your purpose in life if you just believe. It's just certain things, when you look at it on a natural level, like if you just think of everything rationally, and I kind of tend to be a rational thinker at times, too much, to the point that I don't give God his credit of who he is, because I listen to people and I ask people's opinions too much, and people that I ask opinions from are still not at the spiritual level that God has put me in, because of my adversity and because of what he's brought me through. And I kind of fail to acknowledge that some people are not there yet, but it's not that they won't be there. They'll be there, but I should be giving them advice to get closer to God. I shouldn't be asking for human advice that God has already shown me that I don't need them. I need him. God, the person that took me in the day my mom died, I had no idea who she was to me. After this test, I found out that person, a mother, she was a mother to me when my mother died. Like, she just came out of nowhere, just showed up at my relative's house. I was just there, astounded on the fact that I had lost my mom. I was just there, like, bewildered by the fact that God would take my mom out of all people, knowing that I didn't have anybody else. I was questioning. I was like going through all of these thoughts. I still believed, but I just wondered what was the reason for this? Like, what was his purpose in this? She wasn't even sick. I just wondered what could God be trying to do for me through this experience? And he sent my sister after I had prayed, and I prayed in the ambulance after my mom was trying to be resuscitated. I prayed. They were trying to bring her back, but after years of like going over the actual occurrence of her passing, the paramedics and the reading the report, the death certificate and everything like that, she had already died in my arms. They just feel like God has shown me, he has his hand on me in my life. He had his hand on me all along. Like, he's showing his hand. He showed me, he gave me a glimpse into his perfect grace, his perfect mercy. He gave me a glimpse into it through what he did for me. He answered my prayer. And if I'd have never written that prayer, guys, I would have never been so so floored by the fact that how he did it, how he ignored the parts of the prayer that were unimportant. He ignored the part. He pulled out what I needed the most at the time I needed it. Don't understand the power of actually sincerely pouring your heart out to God when you need him the most. And I recommend writing your prayers. I recommend giving your life to God. I recommend getting to the next level with your Creator. Not like a kindergarten. You cannot be at a kindergarten faith if you're at my point in life. It really makes no sense. Really, even at a younger age, I could have realized these things if I was more spiritually grounded. But at this point in my life where I am now, 2020 took me through so much, not to mention the whole things that happen in our world that makes you look at how blessed you are to still be here right now. I can look back at more things that he's shown me in 2020, that he showed me that he had his hand on me. I mean, not just to mention that story, but just so many ways that he had his hand on me. I mean, deliberately, not just at a random, like a drive, I avoided an accident. He just revealed so much. And since I found out this information and how he's been in my life, I've been having more revelation. I don't know if anybody else has been experiencing God in a more, I can't think of the word, but like in a more profound way since 2020, other than me. I've been experiencing God so much more profoundly, so much more clearly since 2020. Like, not only since this information has been brought to me, but just this time and period in our world, it's just bringing things full circle. And he's communicating with me more clearly through the Holy Spirit. It's my whole entire day. Some days I can see his hand working in people. If you really, really actually just look back over your day, if you document your day in your mind, and you can see the messages that he sends to you about things that are going on in your life and how you need to trust him, you would be just in awe of how much power he has to control the situation. I start the day with a concern, as we all do. Some days we have a concern on our mind. Are we going to be able to get a message through to our teenager or our young kids? Are we going to be able to get them focused off their games, or just any kind of concern you may have as a mom or as a woman in general? Like, it may be a marital concern. And I will start the day, but this is the key. I have to be focused on him throughout the day in order to get the message. And I've never been more focused on him. And when I say focused on him, I mean, I read the word, I listen to interpretations of the word through my earbuds while I'm cleaning. I might have something on TV that is not a negative show, but like something that is, I say, like, you know, profoundly based. It's an inspirational show, or it could be a regular show even. It could be like something regular. Like, you know, I say regular, but you know, just something that's not a spiritual based show. And I might be reading a book later on that day, and I might go somewhere else to a restaurant and they have the TV on. Like, he can send you the same message. Like, one day I went through the whole entire day thinking, you know, is God gonna work out a home purchase in my favor? Like, am I gonna be able to actually find a house that's gonna be in my budget, and it's gonna be able to fit my needs? And that might be my concern of the day. If I start the day with that concern, I'll read something in the Bible. The next thing you know, I'm listening to a message on my phone, and it's all in that same theme. The next thing you know, I'm watching a TV show and they mention something about assurance. And then it's just everything will be a message from God showing me that I heard you, daughter. I heard your prayer. And if you just believe, I can make things turn in your favor. And I hope you guys get that message. I hope you guys can grow your spiritual relationship. And I hope that I can continue to grow mine. And I just hope that you never let the negativity in our environment cloud your ability to have a spiritual connection with your Creator. And I just hope that this message is resounding for somebody. And I'm telling you, one person on YouTube that I follow that has given me, oh my God, so much tremendous growth in faith because of her walk and because of her growth. And that is Nija. On her channel is called The Cloud and the Fire Ministry. She is just profound. You know, she gives me clarity on God and what His place is in our lives, and how we need to follow Him more closely, and how we need to be more discerning about what He's sending us and where He's sending us, and what our actual purpose is, and how we can fit what He wants for us and our purpose in life into our everyday movements, and into our career choices, and into our everything. Sometimes your calling is, how can I say this, but like, your calling is connected to people. And if you don't like people, and if you don't enjoy being around people, it could be holding you up in your growth. So sometimes it's just the stepping stones that you go through and things that you don't like, and your ability to get through those stepping stones, that is hindering you from your next level of growth into finding your purpose, into walking into your purpose. And like, if your connection to God is hindered by not liking people, or not liking certain people with an attitude, and your ability not to, you know, get over that, don't let it hinder you. Just keep everything in perspective. Keep God on your side in order to get through it. And don't let anything on this earth hinder you from your life beyond this earth.